So DC has dropped some solicits for Next Level, the first 3 that are coming out in March, which is what they're doing after DCKO. They've been deciding to spotlight some of the characters they use a bit less, and the timing is actually synergistic because we had the Supergirl trailer and there was Lobo, and now we're getting the Lobo book. It's all kind of coming together. It's not always coming together so seamlessly, but I like taking a look at some of these new announcements. They have their covers, all of that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be nice to just do a quick read through, looking at it. What is it? There are a bunch of quotes in the article I'm going to be looking at, which is from Adventures in Poor Taste, which I'm picking because I like the layout of their website. I think they lay things out nicely. It makes it very readable. We normally do this kind of thing live, but not today. I'm Sash. This is Casually Comics, and let's look at this Next Level announcement. Boom! I think that's as big as we're getting. Yes. I'll do some B-roll on top of the screen too if I feel it needs to be bigger, grander, better. I'll probably do that for some of the covers. But we have here, DCKO is just the warm-up. DC All In goes Next Level because we got to do puns for their labeling that's going to be on the side of the books. With Lobo, Batwoman, Deathstroke, and more. There is and more, but this article is just going to be those 3. But it doesn't sound as good without the and more. So DCKO is ending, and then they're going to segue into a bunch of this stuff. There are going to be some status quo shifts. They've already talked about that. They're going to use DCKO to change up a couple of things. So we'll see what that looks like when it ends up happening. There are some quotes here about what it is and how they feel about it, but I think the most important one is where they explain where these books sit. So that's the one I'm going to start with after all of the, we're so excited to announce it and all of that kind of stuff, because of course, what else would you say? No, I'm not excited. I'm dreading it. So what we have here, because the architects of this are Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson. So we have a quote here from Williamson who's explaining where the books sit, because people always have questions about this kind of stuff, saying these books are set in continuity. While the series will be independent reads and not heavily tied to other books, they will exist alongside DC's ongoing comic book series like Superman, Batman, Justice League Unlimited, and more. So fairly standard to how continuity is meant to work, in my opinion. There as a guardrail, but not necessarily something that you feel like you need to go and get an encyclopedia unless you want to follow a bunch of stuff. Here we have one of the Lobo variants. So Scott Snyder's talked about this a lot, but he has a quote here talking about the DC Next Level books are very new reader friendly and will roll out over time. Like the Absolute line, this is an initiative that welcomes new readers that are looking for a jumping on point. Oh, they said spot. They changed it. Jumping on spot for DC's main line of comic books. I'm used to them calling things jumping on point through a loop. Here we have the Batwoman, some interior art for it, which looks fantastic. So they have a bunch of creators who they teased at New York Comic Con, but they only attached a couple. So they're going to roll this out basically every month. They're going to be like, now here's the next group of Next Level. But here's who we have for the first batch. There's Deathstroke, the Terminator. We're going to call him his whole name again. In March, the first month of DC Next Level new series starring Lobo, Deathstroke, and Batwoman are 3 new books that stay true to the characters as they've appeared in DC All In and DC KO. But the creative teams will take them into new stories that explore different genres that any fan can dive into. So we have solicits for these, essentially. Sometimes they change them up when we get to the actual solicits, but this is what they've given them so far. This is the copy, the Get Hype copy, which is vroom, the main man's back, baby, and his ride is a motorcycle that moves at the speed of sound, but only if the sound is a ripping guitar solo, and you better hop on before he leaves you in the dust with all the bastiches he's fragged for money or convenience. It's a gut-soaked path from DCKO to the end of the universe, where Lobo is going to scratch his name and number in the source wall with a cool knife. Don't miss the mayhem, special guests, or tasty, tasty continuity. Don't you do it! Then we have Lobo, a new DC Next Level comic book series written by Scotty Young with art and main cover by Jorge Corona. This one's coming out on March 4th. Main one is priced at $3.99 and then $4.99 for cardstock. So this is what we're looking at. I do like this cover a lot. I like the Bout Me. That's cute. This is a kind of crass, but not too much. We do have some of the variants here, so we can take a look at them, because why not? We're here. And there we go. Looking very menacing on that last one. But the next one is Batwoman. And we do have Greg Rucka returning to the title. So a lot of people are very excited about that, especially because of how the last run didn't exactly get to go how he wanted, and there were certain stories he didn't get to tell and the like. So we will see where this one goes. This one has the right above daughter, sister, soldier, hero. But since she was 10 years old, Kate Kane has lived in the shadow of prophecy and the machinations of a religion devoted to the end of all things. How do you fight the devil when the devil is real? And how do you win? Instantly, it's like crosses, other things, horror paraphernalia. Batwoman, a new DC Next Level comic book series written by Greg Rucka with art and cover by Danny, debuts on March 11th. This one, same thing for standards, $3.99 and then $4.99 for cardstock. And we have this. I've always thought that the imagery for Batwoman just looks great. I've always felt the art in her series have been so good. And the red and the black, with the contrast there, you can just do so many beautiful things. And people have. So we have this one as well, which I like. And we have, oh, I like just the detailing on the face there is very nice. And, oh, that one. Yeah, they're all good. They're all nice. I would be happy with any of these. Are you people who collect variants, or do you just get the main one? I tend to just get the main one. But sometimes if it's not there, if I'm late or whatever, I'll just grab what's there, depending on the price though, because sometimes the variants get up there and I can't do that. Then we have Deathstroke, the typo. I mean the Terminator. It happens. It happens. Maybe by the time this goes up, they'll have fixed that typo. Soldier turned superhuman assassin for hire. Slade Wilson has made hundreds of enemies in his day, and now one of them is taking his world apart, piece by piece. The hit is out on Deathstroke as he evolves into his purest form, a Terminator, out for revenge, and ready to kill anyone who stands in his way. I can't hear form without thinking, this isn't even his final form. Then we have, of course, Deathstroke the Terminator, a new DC Next Level comic book series written by Tony Fleece with art and cover by Carmine Di Giandomenico. Same things, and we get to look at our covers. And then we have our variants. I'm liking all of the Corona alternates. They're a lot of fun. That's the kind of thing where it'd be fun to get them all as a set if you're the kind of person who does that kind of thing. Looking almost Teen Titans-y on this one, just with the lighting and the like. Ooh, grizzled. So those are the three they are leading with. Those are their little write-ups to try and get you hype. Are they characters that you are excited to see again? Are they who you were hoping to get their own series? Are they characters that you would be willing to hop into if they're ones you haven't read before? I'm very curious what you think about all this. DC's been doing a lot of deliberate and targeted marketing, like TikTok for the Supergirl trailer where they dropped it for everybody as the first ad they saw. It's been aggressive, but that's not necessarily a bad thing in terms of at least getting information out there. But I feel like the comic department doesn't always get the same level of buzz and hype, even when they do try and press it out there. So I wanted to kind of just put the feelers out and see what you're thinking about these series, if you're excited for them, if not, what you're reading right now. Are you in a phase where you're reading a bunch of comics, or are you reading more of some of the back issues or catching back up? Those kind of things. Let me know where you're at. For me, I think of these three presented, Batwoman is the one I'm most excited about, but I am just excited about the fact that they actually managed to have Lobo come out at the correct time in terms of announcement, because sometimes the timing's so off. And as your backseat marketing, which I don't know, how many of you backseat market, you just imagine that, oh, I wish it had come out a little bit earlier. Just for them, not even for me, because either way, I'm going to read all of these. There's a bunch of things that are coming out. I'm like, well, I'm going to read all of them, like when they relaunch Vertigo. So we shall see. This was a truly, truly casual video, unscripted, off the cuff, raw and uncut. But sometimes it's fun to just talk about the things that are happening, because otherwise we don't really get a chance to. So of course, let me know what you think about these titles, what you think about videos like this. Should we do more stuff like this? Just tell me things down below, and I'll be back with more scripted fare and other things very soon. Bye-bye.